Hey, it's Kaufman is Alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at all the new comics I picked up at the comic book shop this week. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe if you have not yet. I do this weekly where I look at all the comics I picked up at the comic book shop. Every other day during the week, I'm just covering single issues and reviewing them. So if you like content like this, again, please like the video and subscribe. So I picked up I picked up one back issue and I got one for free here. Paid for this Savage Dragon. It was $5, about the cost of a modern day comic book. $2.99 cover price originally. It's got the Savage Dragon with President Barack Obama on the cover there. This is one I've been looking for a while. It's actually the 4th printing, it says, which is pretty rare for a Savage Dragon comic book. Usually doesn't get multiple printings, but this is probably one of the most famous Savage Dragon covers with Obama on the cover there. 2 lizard people on the cover. I'm just kidding, but I digress. The other book I picked up, I got for free at the register. This is an issue of X-Men from 1999, issue number 92. It's got an Adam Kubert cover, which is pretty cool. It says Bishop is back, but is he the last X-Man? Not a big fan of the colors on that cover, though. This is actually written by Alan Davis and Terry Cavanaugh, but it's got Jeff Johnson doing the pencils. So kind of an Alan Davis looking style, though, to the pencils in this book. It's got a card here in the middle. It's got the Got Milk card. You remember that promotion? Actually, these are drawn by Adam Kubert. They've all got the milk mustaches, as you can see. Who is that? The Young Avengers there. But X-Men 92, got this for free, so that was a cool pickup. I'm going to move on to the new comics I picked up this week. I have not flipped through any of these yet or read them, but like I said, subscribe, stay tuned to my channel, and eventually I'll get reviews of all these comic books. So the first one here is Ultimate Spider-Man number 21, and I want to compare this real quick to this Ultimate Wolverine, so if you're not aware about what they do on the covers here for these Ultimate books, as you can see, the main covers, they've all got this white border around them with the logo on the side, so they can brand all the Ultimate books the same way. I do like all the characters have their own little symbol in the U there. As you can see, Spider-Man's got a symbol too. But if you buy a variant cover, they get rid of the borders and everything, and they just put a small logo on the side here, and then you actually get the A cover on the interior without any logos here. So as you can see, this is the same cover, just without the logo. At first they weren't doing this. I was actually complaining when the Ultimate line first came out because all these borders were kind of covering up about a third of the artwork. And then they started putting the interior covers on the inside. So I really liked that. But Ultimate Spider-Man 21, I did a review of that about a week ago. I did a review of issues 19 and 20. And it was a nice juxtaposition between those 2 issues because issue 19 was pretty cool, had a great cover, and then issue 20 was pretty disappointing. So this issue looks like it's got David Messina on artwork again on this issue, and I would say that I am a little bit cautious about picking up a David Messina Ultimate Spider-Man book at this point because it seems like a lot of those David Messina issues just have a lot of talking. There's not a lot of action, and there's hardly any Spider-Man. And as I was wondering in my previous video, I was wondering if that was because of the script Jonathan Hickman gives David Messina on his issues, or if it just happens to be how David Messina draws. So get a bit of an O face there. That looks a lot like a Pepe Larraz face, if you ask me. But Ultimate Spider-Man 21, cool cover here. This cover is by Francesco. This is a variant cover. Who is this by? It's Francisco Mana and Maria Iacono, excuse me, is on this cover here. All right, so then I got Ultimate Wolverine number 9 here, and all these Ultimate books are $4.99 cover price. Alessandro Cappuccio is the artist on this. I immediately love the way he is drawing these Sentinels here. They look really awesome. And if you want like a kind of typical X-Men book set in this Ultimate universe, this Ultimate Wolverine book is definitely the book for you. It's actually like the X-Men team that you're familiar with, as opposed to the actual Ultimate X-Men book, which is Peach Momoko's book. It's set in Japan. It's got a few recognizable characters, but she's kind of putting together her own team over there as the mutant virus is kind of spreading over in Japan. And one of the plots of this book is they're pretty much trying to suppress the mutant gene. I called it a virus. It's not a virus. It's a gene. They're people too. But interesting Sentinels. Looks like they've got like a Cyclops archetype in his belly. Maybe it is Cyclops. We haven't even seen him show up yet, or I don't even think been referenced in this Ultimate book. So I am interested to see what's going on with the Summers family here. But awesome artwork in this book. Can't wait to read this one. Ultimate Wolverine's been a solid book. Not my favorite book, but pretty solid, pretty good Wolverine title. Chris Condon's the writer on this. Go check that out. Then we got Spider-Man and Wolverine, issue number 5 here. Mark Guggenheim is the writer. Kari Andrews is the artist. He's on the cover here as well. Big fan of Kari Andrews' art style. Just his exaggerated anatomy and exaggerated poses. He's got such a unique, interesting art style. Super bouncy and just really energetic. Draws guys with huge muscles. Like I said, the anatomy, the proportions are completely wonky and out of whack, but it really works. Anything Kari Andrews draws is a lot of fun. And seeing him draw Spider-Man is just absolutely perfect. I mean, really, his Spider-Man rivals something like a Todd McFarlane, if you ask me. Awesome page there. I really like his Wolverine as well. Some great faces there. So I've been a fan of Kari Andrews ever since I first I discovered his work a few years ago. Maybe I was a little late, but he's definitely one of the best artists at either Marvel or DC, Image, anywhere right now. Just a great comic book artist. And this has been a really fun series. Plot is what it is. It's kind of weird where Spider-Man is blaming Wolverine for the death of his parents, and they had these armbands that they were given by this new villain, Dread Shadow, who looks just like this totally generic 90s cartoon villain, and they've been traveling all over the place, so kind of a weird plot, but a very Saturday morning cartoon, but a very fun comic book. Go check that one out. That was a $3.99 cover price. Then we got X-Men number 22, Legacy number 322. This is a $4.99 book. Got Ryan Stegman doing the artwork on the cover here, and this kicks off the Age of Revelation. Actually, we got C.F. Villa doing the artwork on the interiors. So it's pretty much just been Ryan Stegman and Nitho Diaz on this X-Men series, but here we got C.F. Villa filling in. Artwork looks pretty good in here. My previous video that I just put out the other day was a review of the X-Men issue 21 right before this, so go check that issue out. It was pretty much an all-action issue between the X-Men and Trevor Fitzroy's Upstarts. Looks like Cyclops is finally out of jail here. But again, we kind of already know what's going to happen with Doug Ramsey taking over the X-Men. We've already been told that this happens. We just haven't seen it happen yet. So that happens here in this issue. We finally see what we've been told is going to happen. So I've made a video already about how this Age of Revelation has had a pretty clunky rollout, if you ask me, because they announced some of this Age of Revelation. We actually already had the Zero issue come out, which is taking place 10 years in the future, but yet we haven't actually seen what leads to any of that yet. So kind of odd decision making by Marvel, how they've rolled all these issues out. Always love a good page like this that just shows all the characters' faces here. So he says, Doug, Revelation, welcome to the X-Men. Hope we survive the experience. Prophetic words. This is where it all changes for the X-Men here. At least for this season. Yeah, as you can see, immediately everything starts going completely haywire for Cyclops here. So not as great a setup for this Age of Revelation as there was for the Age of Apocalypse, where the son of Professor X, Legion, of course, went back in time and killed Professor X. That was an awesome storyline. This just seems like Doug using his mental powers to overwhelm Cyclops and take over the team and just enforce his will on the entire planet. So not quite as interesting a setup, but again, I have not read this. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. Final thing I picked up this week was the New History of the DC Universe, issue number 3. This is a $5.99 book. We've got Mark Waid doing the writing, Dan Jurgens on artwork, and there's another artist on here too. It is, Doug Mankey. So Norman Ratman and Doug Mankey are doing the inks as well, and then John Calise and David Barron doing the colors on this book. Again, this is issue 3, so issues 1 and 2 kind of cover the golden and silver age of DC Comics, as DC is kind of rewriting their history. This is their definitive history up to this point, which I do appreciate a project like this because there's been so many retcons and alternate timelines and everything in DC, specifically in DC, that something like this is appreciated. I'm sure there are some changes in retcons not everybody are going to be thrilled with, but something like this is pretty cool. Sets the stage for everything DC's doing right now with their all-in absolute crossover. So this book is pretty much getting us into the 90s. So we see like the death of Superman here and the resurrection, the reign of Superman. Of course, Bane breaking Batman's back. Azrael. The Milestone universe here is brought up. Parallax. We've got the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern here. So all the stuff that I really was kind of growing up with 90s DC. Harley Quinn is created and makes her first appearance. So I'm waiting till this entire series. I've collected it all. I think it's a 4 or 5 part miniseries here, this history of the DC universe. And then I think I'll probably just do a video covering all the issues. And these all have a great timeline in the back too, where everything mentioned in the book is brought up and you can see what actual specific issues and series that everything is being referenced, where it all comes from. So this is a very, very nicely put together book by DC. And again, I would like to see Marvel kind of do something like this too. Even Image would be interesting, even though the Image universe is not all one universe. They did actually, come to think of it, Jim Valentino did put together a Image timeline that was very similar to this, that went in chronological order, showing everything that's happened, all the books Image has published over the years. That was actually a really cool book, come to think of it. I'll have to pull that out and show that to you guys one of these days here soon. But again, thanks again for watching. These are all the new comics I picked up. Let me know what you picked up this week, what you're reading, and let me know if you want me to review any of these. I'll put them at the top of the list. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Go read comics.